Namaste. Our practice today is centered around Manipura chakra. So we've been looking at the energy centers in the body and moving up from this base chakra. Manipura is around the belly, so just above the navel is the area known as our solar plexus, and Manipura chakra is just behind there. So imagine it in front of the spine, sort of in the center of your body, represented by the color yellow. A downward facing triangle is its symbol. This 8-petal lotus and the bija sound of Ram. And this energy center is representative of our digestive power, our inner fire, the ability to transform into positive energy the things that we take in around us. So food, air, experiences, what we read, what we watch on television, the people that we meet around us, all of these things we take in, and it's Manipura chakra where they're digested. So very much connected with the physical digestive system. An overactive system could cause real issues there, and underactive as well. So any digestive issues, there's something going on with Manipura chakra. Mani means gems or jewels, and Pura is the city or the location, the place. So it's translated often as the city of gems or the place of jewels, this magical place. Come to sitting. Let's see if we can get in touch with it today. So taking your hands, resting them on your belly with the middle fingers touching. Let your eyes close, your shoulders drop away from the ears. And take some nice, deep, slow breaths, settling into your energy, seeing how your energy is today, and of course, working appropriately. We're going to be firing up the core today, so there will be some stronger options. Remember that you don't need to take every option I offer, and always to work appropriately to your body. So getting in touch with this idea of the solar plexus area just above the navel, and as you breathe in, letting the belly swell, and as you breathe out, drawing the belly slightly more towards the spine to fully empty the lungs. Connecting to your inner courage. This helps build your self-esteem, focusing on this center, your self-belief. Of course, if it's overactive, that can lead into aggression, to building the ego a little too much. But we want to get it balanced, and a lot of us practicing maybe need a little bit of a confidence boost, that belief that we can achieve the things we want to. So we're going to start by fanning our inner flames now. If you imagine Manipura chakra like a fire, if we throw damp, rotten wood on it, it's going to smoke, it's going to smolder, it's not going to do very much. It's not going to be very effective or hot. And equally, if we put fuel on it, wood that's been treated or it contains chemicals and things, it might spit, it might throw out noxious gases, it might go crazy and flame up and burn too brightly. So we want to give our body decent fuel good quality fuel so that it can burn and work efficiently and for a long period of time. So I'm going to practice Bhastrika. Bhastrika translates as bellows. So Bhastrika Pranayama means bellows breath. If you remember those old-fashioned bellows that people used to pump to fan extra oxygen, extra air towards the fire to make it burn a little brighter, a little hotter. That's what we're effectively going to do. You might want to blow your nose first, clear the sinus passages, and then we'll be taking a rhythm of 20 pumping breaths. So the tummy is going to go in and out. On the inhale, it'll swell. On the exhale, it'll draw right back. And it's quite quick. So that sort of rhythm. Have a go at that if you haven't done this before. Maybe having your hands on your belly will help you focus in on this area. And we breathe in and out of the nose, equal effort on the inhale and exhale. Okay, so coming to sitting comfortably, again, you don't have to be cross-legged, nice tall spine, lifting up through the crown of the head. And take an inhale, exhale to prepare the breath, prepare the mind. A nice big inhale through the nose, and off we go, 20 breaths. Two more, fully empty. Take a nice big inhale in, and release the breath on an ah. Relax the hands, relax the shoulders, keeping the eyes closed if that's okay for you, sitting in stillness but noticing the energetic change that might be happening in your body. Maybe there'll be a fizzing or a tingling. Feel that you've exercised the lungs, got the belly working a little bit, woken up the prana and moved it around. Now, if for any reason you felt lightheaded or you've got blood pressure issues, tummy issues, you don't like doing that practice, then I want you to gently breathe in and out. The rest of us, we're going to do that 20 pumps of Bhastrika breath once again. So, sitting nice and upright, inhale, exhale to prepare. Inhale the breath. And off we go. Two more. Big breath out. Inhale, lifting the breath up. Holding it for a moment. Ready for an ah breath out. And then releasing any effort over the breath. There might be a slight cessation where you don't need to take a breath a moment. Breath might be really gentle when it comes back. We've deliberately over-oxygenated the body, and then we're appreciating this feeling called dynamic stillness. Though the body is still, the energy isn't. Lovely. And we've been sitting cross-legged already for a little while, so you might want to change the cross of your legs. And we'll take circle of joy, really thinking about moving around this central axis of the tummy. Take Kali Mudra as well, if you like, where the fingers are interlaced apart from the index fingers, which stick up, and the thumbs then cross over each other, and you bring that to Manipura chakra, your solar plexus center. So nice big inhale here. As you exhale, let all of the fingers interlace and push your palms away from you. Bow the head. Inhale, lifting the palms up. Let the fingers separate. Exhale, they come around in a big circle and you find the interlace of the fingers again behind the back. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the head, squeeze the shoulder blades together as you stretch the knuckles back. And then exhale, big sweep of the hands round. As you round the back, drop the head, draw Manipura chakra back as the palms come together. And then inhale, take Kali Mudra. See if you can do the opposite interlace and bring that symbol, that mudra, back in front of the belly. Nice big inhale here. One more time. Exhale, interlacing the fingers, pushing the palms away, round the back, draw the belly back. Inhale, lift the palms up. Exhale, nice big sweep of the arms as they come around your back. Interlace the fingers opposite way if you can, the one that feels strange. And then taking the head back, lifting the heart forward, squeeze the shoulder blades, extend the knuckles back. Release, let go on the exhale. Hands circle round, bring them together in front of you. Bow the head, draw the tummy back. Inhale. Let's finish with the hands in front of the heart and then release. Come to kneeling, rid of any blocks. If you want to use blocks later, we'll be doing triangle pose and bowing down. You might want to have them handy to touch the floor a little more easily. So let's fire up this Manipura chakra then. You're welcome to come onto forearms if you don't like to be on hands. Otherwise, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, nice flat long back. The gaze is between the hands, just a little bit in front of it on the mat. And we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw the navel up towards the spine. Bow the head, cat pose. Inhale, drop the navel towards the floor, lift the heart, lift the head, cow pose. So really today thinking about Manipura chakra, flexing the spine one way then the other, getting that movement into the spine, but also saying, hello core, can I squeeze all the muscles around the tummy? And as we know, the core isn't just the front of the belly, it's the sides, it's the hips, it's the back muscles. So let's take a few belly rolls, taking the tummy to the side, up to the ceiling, the other side, and dropping it down, rolling the belly. Can you squeeze the tummy in before releasing it again? And then pausing and going the opposite way, making these belly circles. Lovely. And again, starting on your forearms if you prefer, otherwise on all fours. We're going to take the right foot out behind us. So stretch that right foot back, push back through the heel to stretch out the back of the leg. And then we're going to do some tiger curls here. So you're going to lift that right foot up until it's level with the hip. Make sure that the toes are pointed down, and then stretch through that back heel to the crown of the head on an inhale. On the exhale, look towards your knee as you bring the knee forward. You can point the toes here, round the back up towards the sky for your tiger curl. Inhale, extend the foot back, so opening the body out. Exhale, tiger curl, knee under. Bring the knee forwards a bit. Let your shoulders come towards being over the wrists. And then take it back again. So one more time, I'm going to hold it here this time. And I want you to think, how much can I parachute my back up towards the air? Make some space under your chest, under your belly as best you can. And then imagining you're going to kick a football away between your hands. Bring that foot through by lifting the right hip up, swinging the leg through, and lifting the right hand to make a little bit more space. So you end up in this low lunge position. We want that right knee over the right ankle. Going to have the left hand on the floor or a block and bring the right hand to the right hip. Ready for a twist. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, turn the belly towards the bent knee. Spiraling the body around. If the shoulder is stacked above the bottom shoulder, you might want to lift the right arm up into the air. You don't have to. You can keep it on the hip. Breathe here, pressing into that bottom foot. And exhale, bring the hand back down. And come back to kneeling. Let's take that then on the other side. So the left foot, stretching back, tuck those toes under and get some length in the back of the leg first. All through the body, have a nice stretch out. And then bringing the foot up to hip level. Again, toes are pointing down at the floor. Lovely long length, this openness all through the body on the inhale. Exhale, draw the knee forward, round the spine. And take the foot back again. Opening up, inhale. Exhale, bring the knee forward. Let the shoulders come over the wrists. You're bringing the whole of your body weight forward. One more time, take the foot back. This time, tiger curl, nose towards the knee. Think about this place that you're going to put your foot down just in front of your hands or between your hands. Going to need to lift the spine up as high as you can. Get a little swing going in this left hip and bring the foot through, lifting the left hand off of the mat at that last moment. Okay, take a twist here. So pressing down into the left hand, whether it's fingertips or palm or onto a block, push down into the left foot, which should be directly underneath this left knee. Inhale. Exhale, turning towards the bent knee. Your left hand on your hip. Get that length in the spine here and work on spinning the body, the torso around. So getting that belly towards the thigh and stacking the shoulders. You might be able to lift your top hand comfortably. If not, then keep it down at your hip. Lovely spaciousness across the body. Inhale to finish. Exhale, bring the hand down and come back to kneeling. Can either sink down to child or come forward to puppy dog. We're going to go into downward facing dog next. So the important bit is to get a stretch along the spine. So if you're staying with knees on the floor, then work walking the hands forward and the head and heart coming down towards the floor. Otherwise, for downward facing dog, hands a little bit in front of the shoulders, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and walk out one leg at a time. So bend one knee, push the opposite heel to the earth, and vice versa. And then both postures, whichever one you're in, really want to think about getting those hips high. So if you're in down dog, bending the knees, taking the sit bones away from the hands. Lovely length. And then everyone coming back to kneeling on all fours. Lift the heart, lift the head. Inhale there, cow pose. Exhale, come back to child. So hips back towards the feet. And reaching the hands forward, come into cobra. You might rise up and drop the hips down through. You might slither along the floor and rear up like a cobra. Exhale, draw the hips back. Coming back to kneeling, maybe traveling on through to downward facing dog. Exhale there. Inhale, come to kneeling. So we'll go a couple more times through this sequence. Lifting the head, lifting the heart. Exhale into child pose, hips back towards the heels. So the alternative way to come through to cobra is to keep the nose low down to the ground and lift up. and then back we go. One more time through. So either down dog or kneeling. Everybody comes to kneeling. Lift the head, lift the heart, cow pose. Exhale, back into child, down on the ground. Inhale, find cobra in your way. It could be a super low cobra or super high. And then again, come back to neutral. Lovely stuff. Now, if you want to sit back, circle the wrists, give the hands a little bit of a rest. We're now going to explore a great posture to fire up this core, and that is plank pose. You can't mess about with plank. You need to engage the core in order to hold the position. I know it's not for everyone, so if arms, wrists are tricky, there's a few alternatives you can take. You can do forearm plank, where the weight is taken on all of the lower arms, making this triangle, or you could be like Sphinx pose if you prefer. Certainly options for everyone to take a half plank. So plank pose itself, we want the head, shoulders, hips, knees and ankles all in one line. You can drop the knees down if that works for you, rather than keeping the knees lifted. And we're now going to move between down dog and plank. So if you know that's not going to be for you, it will be between a kneeling posture and this half plank pose, or kneeling or down dog or dolphin and this forearm plank pose. So have a little play. Downward facing dog on an exhale. Inhale, floating the shoulders over the wrists. And if you need to adjust the spacing between the feet and the hands, this is the time to do it. Get that lovely straight plank as best you can, and then take it back to down dog. So a few more times. If you're thinking, not for me, remember those options. Half plank with the knees on the ground, either coming back to kneeling or downward facing dog, or triangle the hands to make a nice support for forearm plank, and dolphin coming between those postures. And when you've had enough of that, walk yourself forward into a forward fold. And let the arms dangle, let the knees be soft. And release and relax with a gentle shake of the head, a nod of the head. And you can let the arms be like a rag doll, or maybe hold opposite elbows and have a little sway from side to side. To come up, you're welcome to roll up the spine, or taking the hands to the hips, bend the knees, lift the head, lift the chest, lift the torso, hinging from the hips, floating up on an inhale with a flatter back. And you might want to lift the arms. That might not be right for you. However you decided to rise up today, come to Tadasana, our mountain pose at the front of our mat. And we're going to give our sun salutation a go. Now, the hardest part in the sun salutation for most people is when we step forward from downward facing dog. So before we do the full sun salutation sequence, let's just have a little practice at that. Bring your hands together. Inhale, reaching and opening up. Exhale, folding down. Step back to down dog. And I want you to do the same that we did when we were on all fours, which is also the option you're going to take if you don't like downward facing dog. So first of all, we get the right foot and we lift it in line with the hip, pushing the hands into the floor. Okay, inhale there. Exhale, draw the knee underneath, look towards it, round the spine. Take it back, three-legged dog, or you're in kneeling, taking the foot back and bringing the knee forward. Hold it there, parachute up your spine, look between your hands and flick the foot forward as though you're kicking a football away, maybe lifting that right hand just at the last minute to get the foot there. Okay, if it didn't happen, don't worry, drop the knee, shuffle the foot forward. That's our secret weapon here. Let's step back, downward facing dog or coming to kneeling. This time it will be the left foot lifting up behind that hip. Get that length in the body. Inhale. Exhale, knee comes forward, round the back, hook towards the knee. Can you draw the belly up any further? Take it back. Inhale. Think space in the body. Exhale, knee comes forward, and then flick that football. Can you kick it away? Good. So you've given it a go on each time. On each side. There's a lot to think about, a lot going on during that move. Let's step forward. And again, you decide how you're going to raise up. The closer the feet are together, the more challenging on the balance. So root down through the feet, bend the knees, either roll up the spine, or you can come up with a flatter back. Hands on the hips or hands out to the side like aeroplanes. And bringing the hands back to the heart. Okay, here we go. I'm going to talk you through a couple of rounds, so each side of sun salutation. First option will be our gentle child pose through to cobra. Second option, I'll give you the plank version. You do what's right for you. Okay, make sure you're starting at the top of the mat to give you space to step back. Inhale, let's lift up. Exhale, fold down. Hands to the floor, the right foot steps back into a runner's lunge. And then push into the hands, step back either to down dog or kneeling on all fours. Then everyone comes to kneeling for this round. Lift the heart, lift the head, cow pose. And exhale, sink back into child. Next inhale, come through to cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes. Maybe you stay in kneeling, maybe you go all the way back to downward facing dog. Here's the step through bit. I suggest you get a little bend in those knees and you push off with the left foot. It's the right foot we want to step forward, drawing that knee towards the front. Let the shoulders come over the hips and that right hand lifts up just at the last minute. Step the left foot forwards and you're in your forward fold. Press down into the feet, rise up in whichever way you like to come up to standing and bring the hands back in front of the heart space. Good. If you're not back at the front of your mat, little fairy step forward at this point is good. Okay, I'm going to turn to the side for this side. Let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. It'll be the left foot stepping back this time. Push into the hands. Step the right foot back, down dog, or come straight to kneeling if you prefer. Inhale, float the shoulders forward over the wrists into plank pose. You're welcome to come to kneeling and take cow pose if you prefer. And then we're coming down to the floor. So knees down to the floor. You're either sinking back into child pose or bending the elbows, lowering the torso down to the floor. And everybody coming through to cobra on the inhale. Lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Tuck the toes under, either staying in kneeling or lifting again to downward facing dog. And now the step through. Little bend in the knees, little spring in the step. Look forward to where that knee is going to come from. And then launching your left foot up and forwards. Think that knee is going to swing through as best you can. Always drop the back knee and shuffle it forward if you want to. And then we all step forward into a forward fold and rise up to standing, looking up. If your neck is good, bringing the hands back down to center, coming back to the front of your mat. Good. Take a breath to recover. We're going to go through that a little faster. I want you to find your rhythm. So it doesn't matter if you get a little behind, if you want to rest or miss something out, as long as you feel you're doing your sun salutation sequence. I'll do it from the top of this side. So on an inhale, reaching up, looking up to the sun. If your neck is okay, exhale down to the earth, touching the earth. Right foot steps back into a lunge. Pushing into the hands, left foot steps back, down dog. You can come straight to kneeling if you want to. And then it's either cow pose on the knees, half plank, or full plank. Next, exhale down to the floor, child pose or onto the belly. Inhale, reach the heart forward, the shoulder blades draw together for cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, take the hips back, down dog or kneeling. And then the right foot is going to step forward. The left foot is going to join it. You bend the knees, press into the feet, reach up to the sky. If the neck is good, looking up, and exhale, hands to the heart center. Take a breath before we do the other side. Inhale, reaching the hands up. Exhale, folding down, touching the earth. Left foot is going to step back this time. Right foot joins it now. The down dog or come straight to your knees. Inhale, float to plank, or you're taking cow pose. And then to the ground, child pose or lowering down. Ready for cobra. Inhale, opening the front of the body. Exhale, kneeling or all the way back into downward facing dog. So the left foot going to step forward this time. And then the right foot. You're in your forward fold. Float up to standing on an inhale. And bring the hands back to the heart space on the exhale. Release the hands down by your side. Come into Tadasana. Closing the eyes or soft focus down at the floor. Let the breath settle. Come into your body. See what's happening there. Notice your heart rate. How is your breathing? Is there a sense of energy in the body? Have you stirred up, stoked up your fire? Manipura chakra. Is there some heat going on there? Good stuff. And then as much as your energy and the momentum, the impetus to move comes from this solar center, it's also very important for stability. So core stability is about hugging everything in towards the center. And we're going to test that out now with a balance. Come to the wall or have a chair or back of a sofa, something handy if you want to. We'll balance on the left foot first, so you want your left hand reaching out. Press into the left foot and lift the right foot back behind you, bending the knee. You might be able to catch hold of that right foot. You might want to use a belt, or you might want to point the fingers towards the heel. However you come into this posture called flamingo pose, I want you to take the knee back. So without letting it float out to the side, don't let those hips become unequal. We're taking the knee back to get a stretch in this quad these quad muscles, the front of the thigh. Tuck the tailbone under, keep the heart lifted, the crown of the head lifted. Maybe you can raise the left hand towards the sky. And you can play now with your balance if you want to by tipping forward, hinging around your solar plexus. Try to keep the heel towards your bum. We're not opening out. And this could be a little bow or a deep bow. And then rising up again. See if you can have one more big breath here, drawing that knee back and then releasing the foot to the floor. Well done. Turning around, adjusting yourself if you need to. Shifting the weight over into the right foot, lifting the left foot off of the floor and see if it's there to catch hold of. It might not be. The temptation is to do all sorts of contortions in order to come into this shape, but make sure that you can draw that knee down and back without it lifting out to the side. And you might need to use a strap, or you might need to point towards the foot instead of grabbing hold of it. So have that lovely long line of energy, tummy drawn up and in, tailbone tucked under a little. You might decide to lift the right hand, you might not. As you draw the knee back, feel the front of the body opening. You'll get that sense of a stretch in the quad. And then you might want to bow forwards, challenging the balance a little more, trying to keep the body in a lovely straight line as you do this. Keep the breath going, don't hold your breath. Rising up again and taking one more deep breath, drawing that bent knee back and down before letting it go and releasing from the balance altogether. So taking a breath here, standing tall, thinking about your central axis. Okay, Manipura chakra is known as the center of our prana, and I want you to think about it radiating out through the upper body and down through the lower body. And take a turn, turning to the left of your mat. If you want to have blocks placed either end of the mat within reaching distance, we're now going to do our warriors, and that might be handy for triangle and our bowing triangle. So feet nice and wide apart, starting with the feet parallel, and then we're going to turn the right toes to the front of your mat. Bring in the left toes just a little, ready for warrior two. Inhale, lifting the arms, shoulder height, look down that right arm, exhale, bend the right knee and come into your warrior shape. So thinking about Manipura chakra, drawing up, be strong and firm in your power. This is the posture where you find your courage. You boost your confidence and you think, I can do it. It's a great pose for burning through obstacles, challenges, emotions that you don't need anymore. They're not serving you. Guilt or shame, regret. Let it go. Throw it into the yoga fire and feel yourself grow more powerful and strong. Then let's inhale, straighten that front right leg, hinging again at the top of the hip here. Reach forward, 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 then down. Either the hand coming lightly onto the shin or finding a block, top hand coming to the hip. Rotate Manipura chakra towards the sky, spinning the chest around. If you find your shoulders are stacked, you might want to lift that top hand. The thumb points over your head. Otherwise, keep the hand on the hip. And feel again like you're radiating out from this central point, down through the legs, out through the arms and out through the crown of the head for your triangle. Inhale to finish. Exhale, bend the right knee. Bend the right arm and bring the forearm onto the thigh. Find your side angle. Push into the outside edge of that back foot and really feel this diagonal lengthening through the body, out through the crown of the head. Keeping the hand on the hip or taking it over that top ear. Strong side angle pose. Inhaling again to finish. Exhaling, bringing the hands down to the floor. Walk yourself around to the side of the mat. And you might want to stack blocks here so that the floor comes up a little higher. Otherwise, fingertips on the floor, swaying from side to side. The feet are once again parallel to each other, toes pointing towards the long side of the mat. We're going to take a little twist. Sometimes getting some height under the hands helps with this. First of all, keep the left hand on the floor. Bring the right hand to the right hip. Bend the right knee a little. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lifting the heart and the head up parallel to the floor. Exhale, spin Manipura chakra towards your right leg as best you can, turning. And you might stay here with the hand on the hip. You might try and straighten that right leg. You might even be able to lift the hand, the top hand, to the sky. Totally depends what your shoulder is like and allowing, if your body allows you to do this. A nice big breath to finish. Inhale, exhale, bring the hand back down to the center. Swap over. Right hand now pressing into the floor or your block. Left hand comes to the hip. A little bend in the left knee often helps. Lengthen up. Chest and head level with each other. And then exhale as you twist, turning towards that left leg, straightening the leg if it will straighten, and lifting the arm if it will lift. There should not be any pain here. A little bit of stretch, a little bit of discomfort maybe, but no pain. Breathing in to finish, and breathe out. Bring the hands down to the floor and bow. Bend your knees nice and deeply. Press into the feet. We're going to take the hands to the hips and push down in through the floor, into the floor. With the strength of the legs, we're rising up to standing. Bring the feet together towards the front of your mat and turn towards the front. Take a breath here in mountain pose. And let's turn to the other side now. So turning to your right, big stride on the mat. This time left toes are going to point to the front of the mat. Right toes come in a little. Check that the hips are staying towards the long edge of the mat with elbows sticking out. They should be going front and back, not side to side. And then inhale, open the arms out, shoulder height. Exhale, bend the front knee and strike your warrior two pose. Now, how much more energy and power can you bring into this posture? Can you sink down on the exhale? Does that allow you to widen the gap between the feet? Can you lift the heart without putting pressure on the lower back? So finding that strength in the core. Tummy is firm, drawn in and up. Shoulders drop away from the ears. So within this strength, there is softness, there is relaxation. Lovely. And then inhale, straighten the front leg. Dip the hips back. Exhale, reach forward, 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 then down. Top hand coming to the hip. Take your triangle pose. How is your triangle today? Do you need to bend the front knee a little and then straighten it again? Spinning Manipura chakra around. If the shoulders are stacked over each other, maybe that top hand lifts to the sky. Fingertips reaching out like sunbeams bursting out of them. Nice big breaths here, extending out through your limbs and the crown of your head. And then bending your front knee, the left knee, taking your front forearm to the thigh, side angle pose. Push into the outside edge of that back foot and reach out through the crown of your head, either keeping the hands on the hip or taking the arm over the top of that top ear. Make your fingers alive. No floppy arms or hands here. Everything is energized. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down to the floor, walk them around to the side of your mat. We're going to do something a little bit different this side. So start swaying from side to side, bend one knee, then the other. And I want you to bend your right knee nice and deeply. Walk the hands over towards your right foot and come into a side squat, a half squat. Now, you might be able to take this really low. You might want to stay up higher. Blocks might come in handy to support the hands if you're going to stay up a bit higher. Okay, but you might be able to drop the hip right down towards that right foot. My right heel lifts up. Some people can do it without lifting up that back heel. And then you'll notice that the left toes have come off the mat. So they're going to rotate around to the sky. I'm going to draw those left toes back towards me, really flexing the foot. I'm thinking strength and core support to hold me in this position. Maybe you strike a pose, reaching towards your toes. This is called God of War. And you might keep the hands down on the floor or on your block. You might be able to bring the hands off of the floor, perhaps even in a pose. Just play with those options, feel your power, and then slowly, slowly ease yourself back to the middle. Have a little sway of the hips, release from the posture. When you're ready, start walking the hands over towards the left foot, bending the left knee, dropping the hip down. Can you squat down over the left ankle and heel? And again, my right toes now are lifting up to the sky and drawing towards me. It's like everything is coming into my center, hugging in all around the waist. I'm trying to lift up the chest to have a more upright spine. And maybe I reach towards my fingers. Maybe I play here with my balance, bringing the hands to Anjali Mudra. Or maybe I do both, just for an instant even, and then release. Bringing yourself back into a wide-legged forward fold and walking the hands around to the front of your mat now. Let the feet rotate with you. Step it back, downward facing dog. You can walk out the legs in down dog, or you can come to kneeling. And we're going to end up in a resting pose. So maybe you want to sink the hips back to child pose or lay on your tummy. Nice, big, slow breaths. When you're ready, pressing yourself up to sitting. Bring the legs around in front of you. We're going to do my favorite posture for firing up the solar plexus, boat pose. Boat pose is where you balance, rock back on the sit bones, And you can't fake it. You need to fire up the core in order to hold yourself there. We're going to start in stages. You can start from this M shape, and if the coccyx or the hips aren't going to like this posture, you can do boat pose on your back. So you can rotate the posture 90 degrees, and you've just got to promise to fire up the core because you've got gravity supporting you. Otherwise, you're sitting in this M shape with the hands on the ground just beside the hips or behind them. Inhale, keep the chest lovely and lifted, nice long spine. Exhale, lift the feet off the floor a little, rock back, and see if you can find a balancing point, maybe taking your hands off the floor. Maybe the hands come behind the thighs, and this can help to draw the chest up, lifting it forward, nice straight spine, and then come out of it. So hopefully that gave you an idea of the muscles you're going to need to keep you there. Core is not just the belly, it's the sides, it's the back, it's the glutes, you've got to squeeze that bum, it's the thigh, all of those muscles working together. So let's try it again. Inhale, lifting the heart, nice tall spine. Exhale, rocking back. And then experimenting. If you want to, the hands can come to the back of the thighs or they can reach out into the distance. The feet, the higher they lift, the more work on our belly. So maybe the feet lift level with the knees. And then if you're just not feeling enough work here, you can push out through the balls of your feet, draw the toes back towards you, flexing the legs, and come into more of this V-shaped boat. Let's take 3 breaths wherever you've got to. Inhaling, see if you can lift the heart a little more. Exhaling, staying there. A little bit of shaking is fine as you take this second breath. Can you lift a little higher in whichever option you've got? Maybe the knees are bent, maybe the hands are on the floor. Last breath here, in and out. And then let the feet come down to the floor. Lie yourself down, ready for relaxation, grabbing anything on the way to make you more comfortable. You might want to have a stretch out, maybe a full body stretch. You might want to hug the knees over your chest and have a little rock from side to side. So do what you wish to do to release from the work of our boat pose. And find yourself a comfortable way of relaxing. If you want to stretch the legs out long in our classic Shavasana, let the toes drop away from each other so it's effortless. And maybe you prefer to bend the knees, have the feet on the floor with the knees tented, resting together. So find a way to feel settled, have a last wriggle. And today perhaps bring your hands onto your belly so that we've got that awareness of Manipura chakra. Perhaps there's a warmth coming from your hands which will help you to draw your awareness to this place. So gently closing the eyes, let softness come over your face, a little bit of space between the teeth, shoulders are relaxed, breath is gentle in and out. I want you to imagine you could breathe directly into Manipura chakra. Perhaps the inhale comes in through the navel and the exhale releases out of the back of the body. Every inhale you're energizing Manipura chakra. Every exhale, releasing and letting go. Let the tummy be soft, the hips wide. Let the shoulders relax and the limbs relax. Perhaps now you want to let the hands come down by your sides, perhaps face up to the sky, or perhaps let the elbows find the floor so that they feel fully supported. I want you to visualize the color yellow and imagine this color at your solar plexus, your solar center, like a sunrise. This color yellow gets gradually brighter, more golden, and begins to spread out through the torso, warming and soothing as it spreads down over your hips and down the legs, right down into your toes. Warming and soothing as it spreads up through the body, the chest, over the shoulders, down through the arms to your fingertips, and up the neck into the head, so that your whole body is surrounded by this brilliant yellow, golden yellow light. Feeling energized and soothed at the same time. Keeping the focus on Manipura chakra. Breathing into this area taps into your transformative power. This energy allows us to cut through guilt, shame, blame and fear, self-doubt, or over-controlling or critical thoughts and actions, allowing us to step into our power, to reach for our dreams. You can lead the life that you are truly meant to lead. And taking a couple of breaths now, on the inhale, drawing the energy into the navel and up to the heart, and on the exhale, releasing on a soft ah. Again, into the navel, up to the heart space on the inhale, and then softly sigh it out. One last time like that. And then gently releasing the visualization, letting the bright yellow light fade away. Starting to bring small movements into the body, into fingers, toes, maybe gently rolling the head. You might like to have a stretch. You might like to hug the knees. However your body is telling you to move, make your way, rolling onto your right hand side, and rest there for a moment before you slowly press yourself back up to a seated position. And once you're upright, we're going to bring the hands together and make Kali Mudra once more. So index fingers pointing up, bringing that to Manipura chakra, and the sound associated with this chakra is Rum. So like we chant our Om nice and long, we're going to make this Rum sound. Inhaling. Rum. Bring your hands in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. Take a lovely deep breath in and bow to yourself and the practice that we have shared today around Manipura chakra. May you harness your inner power and take this solar energy with you in order to be the very best expression of yourself. Namaste.